if I want it done right, I got to do it myself. Are you doing it right? Because the loop is negative.
Right.
The output is not there.
Right.
So, yeah.
So how do you approach that?
I don't.
It-
I'm bounced out.
Nailed it. Girls, we don't approach it. We Hey ladies, welcome to the She's Rooted podcast.
We're about to get real unscripted.
So pull up a chair. Let's get to the root of it. All right, I want to welcome everyone back to the She's Rooted podcast. Mo, I'm excited to see what you are dropping today. I would ask you how you're doing, but girl, I already know. And today is going to be really, really great, and I literally cannot wait to see where this conversation goes, because I feel like no matter where you're at, you're going to need it at some point in your life. Like, that's the point of everything that we do. Yeah. So with that being said, do you want me to drop this little quote like it's hot, and then you just run us through, girl?
Yeah.
All right. If you are a quote girl like myself and like Miss Mo, grab your pens. This is what it says. Every pattern in your life repeats until you learn the lesson. The moment you choose differently, the loop ends and growth begins. And should we waver this out, we might piss you off a little bit today, but it's all love, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make anyone mad.
I'm going to. I would like to do that.
Okay. Jamie I'm going to try to buffer, but still share.
Yeah. All right. So should I read it one more time? And then
it's so good.
Every pattern in your life repeats until you learn the lesson. The moment you choose differently, the loop ends and growth begins. So where are you taking us today, Mo?
So good, because it's like, have you ever had those? I mean, this is not where I planned on taking it, but just now thinking of this quote, like, it's just reality. Like, everyone's got their thing, right?
Right.
Until you address it. And it could be your, those people that are like, I always pick bad boys. And it's like, well, this loop is going to continue until you address the rooted issue. Or my finances always, well, that loop is going to continue until you actually hunker down and address the issues. Well, right. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's got their thing. And I think the reality is it's so much easier to outwardly say, well, it's this, or I'm just wired this way, or blah, 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 versus having to do the hard work, which we talk about all the time on this podcast, but looking in the mirror and going, where do I need to grow? Where do I need to humble myself? Where do I need to put more work in, more effort, more energy to turn this around? And until you do that, yes, you will have the same cycle repeat, or the same outcome, if not worse. Like, I am actually looking at a situation where I'm watching something continually decline. And I don't think that a decline from this level, what I'm watching at, happens overnight, or it's very specific where you can say it's one thing. I think it is a culmination of things. I think things happen over time, and all of a sudden it feels like you woke up and you're like, oh my gosh, how is this so awful? And it's
like the overnight success or the overnight nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah. But it doesn't happen overnight. Yep.
No. And it happens day after day. It's, again, that slight edge theory, where if you're not doing the things to set you up to change the ship, or you and I sat under a training one time about that, like, 1 degree, right? Like, if a ship sets sail and wants to go to China from here, if they're 1 degree off course, that whole ship is going the wrong way. Like, 1 degree the whole way is the wrong way. So I know this is kind of scattered at the moment. I know it'll come to a head. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is how we roll, and it might seem scattered, but we'll get to some very strong points. But I think that's the first place I go, which, whether it doesn't matter the topic, It doesn't matter the result you keep getting if you don't like it. It doesn't matter what area in life that is. It all comes back to, are you willing to take ownership on the things that you need to? Are you willing to put in effort, work, and energy in the things that you need to control? Because obviously we can't control everything around us, but we for sure can take ownership and control ourselves. And that's the biggest key a lot of the times, and especially, and what I'm dealing with is a leadership issue, especially when you're a leader. When you hold the title of leader, then you better be looking in the mirror going, where can I grow? What can I do? How can I get sharper? How can I get better? How can I, set my team up for success? And that doesn't always mean you have to do everything or even know everything. The beautiful part about leadership is that you can pull in experts, that you can pull in other people, but that starts with humility. And this is where the problem is. Like this cycle that keeps repeating. If you're not humble enough to go, I don't know everything, but I know some people and I'll pull some people in, or I'll get the necessary things we need to succeed.
Yeah.
If you're not humble enough to do that, you are going to sink yourself and sink an entire team. And that is devastating. It's devastating. And you're going to repeat that cycle anywhere you go.
Right. You know what is kind of wild that we kind of landed onto this topic today and came across that quote. Matt and I were talking the other day. It was nice out, and nice, I mean like not warm, but not snowing.
Yeah.
Dry. Everyone and their mom was getting a car wash. And for some reason, we were talking about the new CEO in Disney. So that just got turned over.
Oh, okay.
And he made me think of saying to Matt, successful people that run successful companies all look super healthy, well put together, and it's just something that I've noticed. And Matt said that, when you are in that in charge of something that big, it's because you can manage yourself very well. So when you say leader, how about we break up the word for a moment? When you were talking, I envisioned like somebody standing in front of a mirror and you're breaking apart the word leader, and it's lead her.
Mm-hmm.
First thing you need to do, girl, is lead yourself.
Yes.
And if you can't lead yourself,
yes,
then you can't just keep on that merry-go-round of pointing fingers of why this isn't going this way and this isn't going that way. If you aren't getting your ears into different rooms to grow yourself, you're going to be stuck on that damn loop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it just kind of is wild how things kind of line up, like having that conversation. I didn't know we were going to talk about anything like this podcast this week. But yeah, I mean, it's just an observation. Like my buddy used to always say, sometimes you have to lead yourself before you lead your family. So when you do get to step into roles like that, and you haven't been a good steward for your own leadership, you're going to lessen your possible success around you because you're not growing in certain areas, and you're not turning around and lifting up the people around you so that you can all, like, what do they say? A rising tide lifts all boats. Like, where's your tide? Right? So I don't know, that just made me think about that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. No, it's very true. I've noticed that as well about successful people. A lot of those top leaders, like, yeah, they have a health routine. They have their priorities in check. A lot of them, not all of them.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
But everybody's priorities are on a different playing field.
Right.
Like everybody's priorities are different.
Right.
But a lot of those seem to be somewhere, somehow, they can relate with one another.
Right. Right.
So going back to what you were saying, in looking at being the one that is on the loop, and yet you're seeing and not admitting that there are things that are not working as well as they can. Where do you go from there?
It's so brutal. Honestly, when you're outside of the like situation and your hands are tied and you can't do anything, that's what I think is so hard. It's so hard to watch when you don't have the ability to help, like you're just not, you're boxed out. You're boxed out. And that's hard. So I got to think of how to word this right. But you just try to manage the best you can. And in this situation, there's many people involved. And when you can't get to the leader, maybe you go to people on the team and you try to talk to them and rally those key points to them, that like every person counts, every person has their potential, every person can, and you just try to, I don't know, give the message of what you feel like should be given that's not.
I will say that one thing that I have noticed in certain situations in my life, being an outsider with realization, I should say, that I necessarily can't control what I can't control. But I have noticed in certain pockets of being in different leadership arenas, when it seems like things are not moving in the direction of the goal, it's because the goal got shifted. It's because the person that's leading, right? I did some air quotes, friends, if you're not watching. They may have gotten caught up in, I'm the leader. It's my say. I'm the leader. We're going to do it this way. My way is the right way. Da-da-da-da-da. And they lose sight of the mission. They lose sight of what are we striving for? What is that mountaintop goal? Because if you've ever seen any sporting event, right? You got the last name on the back for most teams, right? Some teams don't have the last name on the back. But what I've always loved about great teams and what I've always loved about great leadership is the rooted core belief that the name on the back absolutely matters. But if you have the name on the back, the name on the front, the mission, the goal, the what you guys are all together for, that should matter above anybody. Because if the lost goal is shifted and you have a leader in charge that is more focused on the name on their back than the name on the front of their shirt, then maybe their season of leadership role needs to be, I don't know, revoked. You know what I mean?
Girl, you're speaking my language. You are right there with me.
And can we take a vote? You're out.
Yeah, please. Like that's the reality. And I told someone, I think it was my kid the other night, I was like, listen, like, don't be a knucklehead. I just don't be a knucklehead. Here's the reality. Everybody, like, whether it doesn't matter again, what area you're in, like you're speaking of a athletic arena. Well, if you're in a business arena, if you're in a whatever, like there's leaders everywhere in every arena. And if you are going to get a leadership title, please don't be deceived. Leader just means like teacher, encourager, empowerer, like there's so many levels to leadership. But what it doesn't mean is Here, you are now bestowed with all of the wisdom and knowledge of everything for everyone. And now you carry this weight and shut everybody else out, and only your word. That's not what leadership matters. But when you're a knucklehead leader, that's what you do. You take this prideful stance, which pride is just, it's crushing. And you put unnecessary stress on yourself, number one, to try to like be something that nobody's asking you to be. You lose your character, which is everything in leadership. Right. And you start to like box out all this other stuff. And what happens then is not only do you look like a fool because you're not fooling any of us, like we know you don't know this stuff. So why are you playing like you do?
Right.
And now our whole team's going to suffer because you're unwilling to ask for help. You're unwilling to accept help. You're unwilling to bring in experts where experts need to be brought in.
Yeah.
And because of your pride and your attachment to, like you said, your name, this ship is sinking. And that stinks, because if a leader, I don't know, your opinion, I'm wondering, you know, obviously we've all dealt with many leaders, but the ones to me that have stuck out are the ones that are of high character. They have high values, high morals that they walk. They actually live them out. They bring good energy, great energy to the space that they walk into. And they're not the smartest one in the room, and they know it. And they're like, I am actually grateful that I have a team of people around me willing to get this project done or this goal achieved. And therefore, I'm going to be a leader full of gratitude. I'm going to let you know that I'm grateful, and we're going to do the thing. We're going to put in hard work. We're going to, you know, hard work and fun play, like work hard, play hard is a real thing. That's cool. And they have boundaries and they have expectations that everybody in the room understands and therefore can execute. If it's not clear, nobody can execute anything because we don't know what to expect. It's a mess. It's all over the place. Can you even imagine? I love football. Can you imagine watching a football team, two teams play against each other? One team only has a head coach and one team has that whole side. How many coaches are on that stinking sideline? There's a coach for everything. Why? Because one stinking head coach can't do it all.
Right. Right.
And they're the top. They're the top of the top. It's an NFL head coach. And they're saying, I need help.
Right.
And everybody's like, that's a great coach. They got help.
They have help. Right.
Could you imagine though, if there's one coach that's just there with no help? Are people going to be like, oh, they're going to be like, that guy's an idiot. That's a knucklehead.
Fire him. You're out.
Fire him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I think a lot of times, I think people struggle though, Monique, with if I want it done right, I'm going to do it myself.
Okay, but I'm going to interrupt.
But
Your
no,
quote.
I'm not on that line. I'm throwing the mix in. So
Your quote destroys that. Your quote ruins that. It blows it up.
I know.
Blows it up.
But there are people, Mo, that have the mindset, if I want it done right, I'm going to do it myself. And I am pretty sure that there are so many people listening to this right now who has either A, said that, or B, has heard that. So how do you shift yourself out of that mindset if that is your mindset? Like the perfectionist mindset of like, let me just do it.
Okay.
I really think though, so sorry to cut you off.
No, I'm interrupting you.
But I really think that when you have that struggle of that mindset, it's because you have not surrounded yourself with a round table, collaborative conversation on this is the goal. What strengths do you bring to the table? What strengths do you bring to the table? What strengths do I bring to the table? And let's all look at that, have a real raw conversation and marry all of that together, because what I am great at and what I am gifted at is different than this person, that person, and this person. And when you are humble enough to be able to realize that you can be in your lane and have other cars on the road with you and you guys are all driving in the same spot, but if you start cutting people off, that's how accidents happen. And
Mm-hmm.
that is good. I'm going to go back, rewind this, and
Right.
quote myself up.
Write that
Damn
down.
it, Summers, you crushed it right there.
Right
But
there.
like seriously, like envision that. Like if you think that you're driving on a straight line and you're cruising, right? You got your Range Rover and you're driving, and then you see somebody come up, in their Lambo, and they think they're cruising, they're rocking out to their music, and you're like, wait a minute, they're not doing it how I would do it. Let me just cut them off real quick. You're going to get into an accident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think perfectionism can definitely play into a lot of that. Humility is not there if we're totally focused on that,
Yeah.
But also, listen, I will be the first to say, if I am on a team and my leader is a perfectionist and we are crushing our goals, I'm fine with it. If it's working, the loop is repeating, and the repeat is a win. It's a positive. Cool. I'm talking about if the loop is a negative, we gotta hit the brakes and we gotta pause and we gotta say, okay, are you the one, if I want it done right, I gotta do it myself. Are you doing it right? Because the loop is negative.
Right.
The output is not there.
Right.
So, yeah,
So how do you approach that?
I don't.
It
I'm bounced out.
nailed it. Girls, we don't approach it. We
Go on
turn
a
around.
podcast and talk with you about it and try to encourage our listeners not to be that knucklehead. Whether you're a mom, a dad, a manager, a leader at a church, a leader on the field, wherever you're posturing leadership, don't be a knucklehead and just know, like, I give you permission as your friend, as your little bestie here. Like, it's okay to ask for help. It doesn't less than you. It doesn't, especially if you know that the person you're bringing in has, like Jamie said, a strength that you don't have.
Right.
It actually
doesn't take away from you.
It actually boosts you, in my opinion, because your job as a leader is to make sure that the team is successful and each individual there has their own level of potential, has their own level of excellence, right? If you say this is the bar, is excellence, I want you all to reach that, I have to pull in an expert in order to have that achieved. I'm doing my job. I think it actually raises you up as a leader to go, I don't know, and I'm not going to waste your time pretending like I know. I'm going to pull someone in that does, because I want to best support you.
Right. I'm going to throw another loop. Okay. I've always said that there are a lot, and I've always said this, I should revert. I heard this before, and now I always say it. So it is not a Jamie Summers original. But there are lots of ways to build your business. There are lots of ways to build your passion. There are lots of ways to build whatever it is that is important to you, right? Lots of ways to build that. Lots of ways to build your leadership. So with that, there are also lots of ways to count to 10, right? 5 plus 5, 9 plus 1. I'm going to stop there because I'm not great at math. But
count by twos.
Yeah, right. So there are lots of ways to count to 10. And when you look at that and you look at the other line, there's lots of ways to be a leader. Doesn't make it wrong if it is going in the same mission. So with that, what if you have two leaders that have the same end goal in mind?
Whoa.
Oh gosh.
Sorry.
You throw something at the computer is what you do. You have two leaders with the same end goal in mind, the same passion, the same heart, but see how to lead it to that completely different. How do you do that?
Like they're working.
Because one person is going to look at the other leader and they're not going to follow suit because that ain't any way, shape, or form how they want to lead.
Like they're working together, you're saying?
Not working together, but they're working in the same mission.
Well, typically I would feel like there's a hierarchy, no?
There could be, but what if there's not? What if there's two assistant coaches? What if there's one head coach and two assistant coaches, and both assistant coaches had a different path? They had a different past experience. They had a different way of how they learned their leadership on how to coach, and their systematic approaches are like yin and yang. They are, and not yin and yang like we're copacetic. Is that the right word? That's the right word. I think so. I don't know. That like it meshes and you're like, hell yeah, like you're the yin to my yang. But they actually clash. Even though they both want the team to win.
I feel like
How do you do that?
that sounds messy. Yeah. I feel like that sounds messy. I'm a big fan of communication, so I think that
Yes.
communication trumps everything else. Like, and it can again sink or make make it float and sail and succeed. I think in that case, you'd have to really double down on communication. I think everybody would have to come to the table open-minded and willing to understand the other person's perspective and the other person's side, and really have to, I feel like I would have to sit down. If I was one of those assistant coaches, I feel like I would have to sit down at a table with the whole group and be like, okay, you know, Mr. Potato Head, can you give me 5 ways you think this way of coaching is going to bring value to the team? Do you have any like past proof? Do you have any like hard ways that you can tell me 5 solid ways where you're like, I know that this is going to bring value to the team if we do X, Y, Z, if I'm really that opposed to it. I feel like it's just communication. I would have to really understand like, you know, where they're at. And then again, I, as being one of those assistant coaches, would have to sit and look at myself in the mirror and go, why am I thinking the way I am? We always go back like 3 levels deep, right? Not being afraid to be introspective on yourself and go, why am I so stuck in this way? And, you know, would it hurt if I were to bend this way? Or is this something that truly is so important to me? Or is this something that I truly cannot, you know, slide on? And if that's the case and you end up still kind of like opposite each other, I feel like you'd have to have room with that head coach to say like, we're gonna, you know, be who we are. We're all kind of on an understanding, good cop, bad cop, head coach like that. I don't know. Cause that's what I'm picturing, right? Like It's going to be, I don't know, that to me would be communication. You have to have communication everywhere.
So I'll throw you one level deeper. Okay. What if you have had that conversation? What if you're the assistant coach that has opened up with transparency and has been the one that had said, like, your way's not wrong, my way's not wrong. We both are focused on the forward, and it's a respect thing, and they continue to not respect it.
It sounds so messy.
It's messy. But I can tell you, I'm asking you for your perspective without giving mine, because I have the end result.
Okay.
And it's all gravy and it is all good.
Okay.
But there are so many things that people walk through in leadership that you do have to where there are lots of ways to build it. So if somebody doesn't see it the way that you see it, doesn't mean it's wrong.
Right.
And vice versa.
Right.
So, yeah. So what if you did have communication is huge with me, and being truthful, that's the only way you can ever change any situation, is by sharing the truth with grace, but don't lose your grit in it. You cannot waver on what you know is right for you. But if it doesn't get respected.
So I'm the assistant coach. I've had this conversation. The other assistant coach is like, yeah. We'll like agree to disagree and we'll just respect each other's like positions.
No.
Oh. The other coach is, we have the conversation. The other coach is like, I cannot see your side whatsoever. It's my way or the highway.
Right.
What does that head coach say?
I love you.
I love you both. I love you both, and I'm going to keep you both. Yeah. Figure it out. Okay, cool. I think for me, I think now it's going to come down to what can I tolerate? If this coach is personally causing an issue for me and I can't tolerate it, I might have to step away. If this person is not causing an issue to me specifically, I just disagree with how they're managing a team or dealing with a thing, then I think I would have to step up my character and my posture as my position and stand stronger in that, in loving whoever it is we're rolling with, but communicating and loving and being with that either coworker or teammate or whatever it is, like athlete, whatever it is, I would have to posture and go stronger and stand in like, okay, well, I'm still going to make sure that these people know XYZ, how I feel about them. I'm still going to share this message with what I think on leadership or getting to this goal. And I feel like I would have to, if I could still tolerate them, I think I would have to do that. I would either have to walk away if I literally was like, you make me want to vomit. I do not like any way that you are doing this. And I don't want to be associated with it. I would have to walk away, I think, because I don't want to undermine that person's leadership either to the greater group.
Right. Yeah.
But I think actions speak for themselves. And again, if you're saying we're both not doing it wrong, like, because I guess in my head, I'm also thinking like they're probably doing it wrong.
Thanks, girl.
But if you're telling me that they're not, like, then I would have to be like,
there's just certain personalities that will never clash with one another. And that's okay. But if they start trying to sift you down, I do believe that you're going to have to come to a place.
Like they're undermining you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That I've walked through that quite a few times in my lifetime. And I've had to choose, is what I am showing up for, is that going to be something I want to continue to tolerate?
Right.
Or do they absolutely have nothing to do with the path that I know I'm called to lead down?
Right.
And it is just, it's growing my personal leadership.
Right.
And as well, trying to find a light in the negative is also growing their leadership.
Absolutely.
It's something they have to go through.
Yep.
It's something that I have to go through.
Yep.
So if it doesn't matter what your environment is doing around you, if you want to continue down that path. And you are only in control of your actions and how you treat situations.
Right.
And I've put on so many times where you need to rise above it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to set boundaries. And boundaries, like, I'm the type of person, I'm a collaborator. Mm-hmm. I'm like, let's jump on, let's big vision, let's rock this out. I'm a creative. I am music. Can you throw that back into it?
Yes.
But like, I thrive on that type of stuff. And when you're looking at that, there are just certain personalities that are not going to thrive on that. But you can learn to work together without working together if you're on the same mission. I do believe that.
But that
takes a lot of growth, takes a lot of communication. And it also takes with getting, this is the last thing I'll say, and then I'm going to
go ahead.
Sorry. And it also takes a lot of realizing, who do I want to be known for?
Right.
What are the things that make me happy? What are the lights in my life that I'm not willing to let go out because somebody had something to say behind my back, or somebody had something to like say about how I did things, or they have backhanded comments that I can absolutely see through. Like, I wasn't born in a barn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm picking up what we were putting down, and I'm going to look at it. I ain't going to pick it up because we're going to leave it right there. But I can choose to, regardless of how somebody treats me, I can always walk in a forward motion when it comes to still respecting myself. And when you respect yourself, you don't come across in a bad way to somebody else, no matter what they've done to you.
Right. And I think that that's doable. So context would also matter, I think, in this conversation, because if you're in a situation, like I'm picturing again that football team, and you're at practice and you got one coach and one's like, blah, 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 blah. And this coach at the same space with the same people is like, no, blah, blah, blah. Like that's messy. Like then you're in that's where I would be like,
And you're not on the same mission.
no, well, to your point, you could be, but you got different ways to get there. But if this coach, and if it's the same room that you're coaching in or the same room of people that you're working with, and you think you're on the same mission, but you're just doing it different, but one is undermining in the same room with the same people, that's a different context than same company, same team in a company, but like I'm working with these couple people on this day and I'm over here talking to these people on this day and we're still in the same, we're at the same level, but we're just not seeing eye to eye, but we're like kind of picking with people all over. That's a different context. That's a lot easier to be like, listen, I'm just going to stay on my mission. I'm going to stay in my lane. But if you're in the same room with the people, that's really hard to be like, then your people are like, what is happening right now? Like what's actually happening?
Right. And I love that you said that because your people are going to be like, what is actually happening? And I brought this up to bring this back to the full circle of what do you think the team is thinking?
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking about that when you're trying to like push yourself ahead of somebody else. Like, no, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. No,
right.
Sit down. You're not the leader.
Yeah.
Find somebody else until you can lead yourself well.
Yeah.
And learn to lead yourself well. You have to walk through some things that are not the funnest to walk through.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of growth. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of looking in the mirror and owning your shit.
Yeah.
Because if it is up to you to figure it out, it's always going to be up to you to figure it out.
Yeah.
So how you react in situations says more about you than it does about any situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think you need to think about the team.
Yes. That goes back to character too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's an important thing, I think, as a leader. If you are in that position, if you're listening in still and you're in a position of leadership, you know, checking your character. Am I walking? Am I rooted in my morals, my values, in integrity, in the character that matters, that people want to follow? Because if you're struggling in your leadership and maybe your people aren't following, you're like, what the heck? Again, you check yourself. Like, am I walking the talk? And also making sure that when you're choosing your team and maybe you're in a position where you're hiring and firing or where you're doing these things, like making sure you choose people of character who in hard situations, in hard conversations, in all of that, you know, choose collaboration or choose at least to zip their lip and go for the greater good, right? Versus destroy and backhanded slander or whatever, like, because that will tear down a house super fast, right?
Oh, for sure. They'll dismantle the whole thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've had to walk away from jobs because of that. Because it's what what you're going to allow, what you're going to tolerate, and what boundaries you're going to put around things.
Yeah.
And when you can look at every situation in your life in that way, like if you're a mom, girl, you're a leader. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you are leading your house. You are in charge of leading those little munchkins that are running around and they're trying to test you. Like, so you have that. You can lead the big, huge CEO company. You could lead a football team, a basketball team, a cheerleading team. You could be leading a network marketing team. Like, you could be leading a team as a personal training manager. There are so many things that you can be in, that you can relate back to, that we have all walked through a point of dealing with people that you don't see eye to eye with.
Yeah.
But true leadership is pushing past it if what you are doing actually matters to you and the legacy that you're going to leave behind you.
Yeah.
And everything that you do absolutely matters. There is an excellent book that's behind me. It is called Chop Wood, Carry Water. And in that book, there is such a phenomenal lesson of you are always building your own house.
I love that.
And I love that. And sometimes you can get caught up in the muck of just being pissed off about things. But man, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself because you
Yeah.
can't take your words back.
Yeah. I
And
love that. I love that you gave a book recommendation too. I would drop one if you're listening and looking for a book on leadership. Um, I would encourage you to read John Wooden on leadership. Fantastic book. I love John Wooden.
what's the name of the book? Is it called John Wooden?
John
Girl,
Wooden.
I've never read that book.
John Wooden on leadership is the book.
Okay.
And then the other one is, I'm gonna have to, we'll have to put it in the show notes because it's upstairs in my bookshelf and I can picture the cover, but I can't grab the name out of my head right now. It's so good on communication as a leader to your people. It's so good.
Right.
So if you're somebody who's listening and you're struggling with, how do I communicate to my children, my spouse, my team, my whatever, like it's so good. So I'll put that in too. Those are two of my favorite books on leadership.
Love that.
Yeah.
So one more perspective shift.
Yeah.
Let's say, Mo, let's say there's only a head coach, okay? And you got all these people around you. Let's paint a picture of like what I'm envisioning is like Kirsten played basketball in high school, okay? She was so good at it. I miss it. I miss cheering.
Uh,
But let's just say there's one head coach and I loved her coach. Like
why? Tell me
she's
why.
a great leader.
Why?
She will push you past your own limiting beliefs because she wants you to see it and you're going to do it. And she had no problem like being straightforward and yelling it through you until you got it. And that's like captivating leaders that like see bigger and don't
Mm,
fluff.
mm,
I jam. Love it.
mm-hmm.
Like, so with that, I like, let's say she was the only one that was a coach. And let's say she didn't have those leadership qualities. Let's say the team was losing every game, or the girls are constantly fighting with each other and there's so much drama. Thank goodness this was not our reality. We had such a great like 4 seasons together. But let's just flip the role for a moment because this is real life and other people might not have the experience that we all walk through. They might have that complete opposite. So let's say you have one head coach that has all of this say and what she's saying makes absolutely no freaking sense and these girls are suffering because of it, okay? And they're fighting with each other and there's nothing but drama and you're the one that has to deal with your daughter coming home and like she's not being able to live in her light of the court because she's so worried about what this person said and how this coach reacted to this and can you believe that, and she's not growing in her own game because her focus is shifted on drama and shifted on all the things that are not going to lift her up and help her be more successful later in life.
Yeah.
One head coach has all the say, saying the wrong things. At what point do you, as a parent who has no say, you can't control what you can't control, okay? But
Yeah.
what you can control, if you're not the leader and you're the one that is sitting in the stands, but all the parents are seeing the same thing that you're seeing, they're dealing with a different issue on a different day with their own kid because of the environment that is created around them is not the best uplifting environment. I would like to say to those parents that are sitting there, we so many times in life feel like we cannot control what we can't control. And I have said that so many times, and that is the truth of the truth. But the truth is only going to be the truth if you believe it. But what if it's not true completely? What if, Mo, what if you decide to boss up as a parent and you lead the parents into a situation to where you can sit down and have a real raw conversation with that head coach who has all the say and is saying the wrong things? Because if they never hear it from the people around them and they're not willing to talk through it with the growth mindset of getting themselves up and out of whatever it is, like, then should they be the head coach? And at what point is what parent is going to step up and be the leader for those girls who are suffering?
So I'm going to turn it back to you
Okay.
and ask you, piggyback off of that, what if you've done all that and it is not received well?
Yeah.
Then what?
My brain wants to go back to like what I did with other things where you create boundaries, but when you put your kid in the mix, it's hard to create a boundary because it's not you that's personally being affected, it's your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe for me, what I would do as a parent in that particular situation, and what I've always done as a parent in hard situations that our kids have grown through, is sitting down and explaining that they're in control of their actions. And if they want to lead themselves better, then that's exactly what they need to do. And they can create a butterfly effect by how they choose to show up on that court. They can boss up and be the leader of the team, even though they're not the head coach. They can choose to not get into the mix of all the things that are not the best. And they can choose to, if it's something that they want to do. Sometimes you find out that, you know what, I don't want to play basketball. I mean, my daughter, she's like, I played softball all the way through college. I don't know if you know this, but
I
did.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I was awesome. So good. And I miss it. It was very good. But that's my game. That's my sport. Basketball was not my sport.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my daughter's going to play softball. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And honestly, she walked through a lot of drama. It was just not it wasn't led well.
Yeah.
She lost her passion per se, or instead of losing her passion for softball, maybe she never actually had it to fight through all of it. She gave it up and poured all of her energy into basketball, and it's the best thing she ever did. So
Yeah.
sometimes you need to walk away from it. Sometimes you need to boss up and grow through it because the environment around you should never dictate what's important to you.
Yeah. It's wild. I mean, it's
so
actually
hard.
It's wild how much leadership matters. And
100%.
even hearing you talk about, your daughter in basketball, it makes me think about like just my kids in school in general. Like, you ever have like a kid that's struggling? So I had one kid that I actually like had to have a tutor. He only tutored once with her, but like he was struggling so hard. And then he had this tutor and he was like, why didn't the teacher just explain it this way? And then like excelled in that subject afterwards, and changed teachers and excelled again. Like, it was a teacher issue, like leadership issue. And it's crazy. Like, your kids can be like, I hate this subject. And really, it's just the way that it's being communicated and taught that isn't connecting. Right. And they don't have any respect for that teacher. And so their whole interest, their whole desire, their whole whatever sinks. And those are the moments, I think, where you do go to your kid and you're like, listen, this is more about your future than this very moment in this teacher. Like, you got to fight through, and you do have to put your nose to the grind, and we do have to work through this together. Like, despite this poor leadership, you're going to come across more and more of this as you get out there. And we need to figure out how to keep that motivation up, how to keep that, cast that vision, for that child for more, and push through. So leadership matters. It matters, just like you said. And leadership in the small things, I think, matters most. It's not about the big things or the big wins. It's about like leadership. A big winning team comes back to the very first practice, the precedent that's set, the bar of excellence that's set, the expectations that are set, and then every little detail of that practice being managed well. That's John Wooden's book. I'm telling you, the book is so good. And it talks about his legacy as a coach, because he was like the most winningest basketball coach ever, in college, I believe. And he talks about just little details. I mean, I think even in the beginning of the book, he talks about he would take these kids in and they're in college. They've been playing basketball their whole life. He would teach them how to tie their shoes.
Right.
Like that much detail and that much like, this is the way you are going to tie your shoes on this team and you're going to do it well because this matters. The tiniest things matter. It all matters.
Everything matters.
Everything.
And when you can see that everything matters to the person that's leading, then you are going to build up that belief around you that people want to show up for.
Yes. And if you can be,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Nope, you go.
If you can be humble that when you mess up, because that's a lot of pressure, everything matters. But then when you pair that with, I'm also human and I know I'm gonna like not be the greatest. So I can be humble enough to apologize and do better.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for a lot of people though, that
Everybody. Yeah.
Everyone wants everything to be all gravy and like amazing and get the accolades. But I don't know. For me, I've always been really good at, I have no problem laughing at myself. And I'd rather stumble than watch somebody else stumble because I know I can handle it.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many times I've been asked to speak on stage?
Yeah.
Give like a 20 to 30 minute like training. And my slideshow isn't coming up. Or
something always
my mic's
happens.
not working. Or like I went too quick on a slide and I was like, well, here we are. Like, I taught
last night.
I'd rather it be me than somebody else. But I think that being a humble leader is important. And I think that you can never reach your peak of leadership if that is something that's important to you. You should always be growing. You should always be surrounding yourself with different perspective. You should always be setting boundaries that you will not tolerate and that you will allow. And sometimes in life, like, it doesn't matter if you are the most like beautiful shade of black, because black is my favorite color. You'd be like the most beautiful, shimmery black. If somebody's favorite color is yellow, they're not going to like the black if they don't like the black. But you know what? There are some outlines that need to be done in that color. And there's also a sun that needs to be in your life that needs to be yellow. It wouldn't be black. But if you learn to work together, that's how you really make something happen. You create a picture that is going to be bigger than you could ever create on your own when you get to lean into your people. And not everybody is your people, but you can respect those that are not.
No, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have those people. I taught last night and I literally had one of those like brain fart moments where your brain just actually goes blank on what to do next. And like the music doesn't stop.
No.
But I stood there and typically the show must go on and I'll like just figure something out. But this is a song we've done so much that like everybody knows it. I, for some reason, just go blank and I stand there and I'm like, I literally put my hands up like, and I look over and thank goodness for my people because they are just going, and it was an opportunity to point to them and highlight them and lift them up and say, I'm so thankful for you, sister. Like you're here, you know, like again, I'm not the greatest one in the room. I happen to be the instructor, but that doesn't make me the best. Like that's such a beautiful place to live in where you can have a positional leadership position where everyone is looking at you as a leader because that's your position, but also realize like, I'm not the greatest and it's okay. And you can live in that space because then like you said, you'd rather stumble than somebody else. Like it gives you, when you stumble, the opportunity to lift someone else up and go, look at, she's a freaking rock star, right?
And it also gives them permission to have a little bit of grace with themselves when it happens to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you didn't lead that routine well, Miss Monique, you wouldn't have all those girls that are showing up for your class who then it became their class. They wouldn't be able to pick up those moves.
Yeah, that's true.
If
they
you didn't
wouldn't
show up and lead in the right way with the right heart.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do? If you forget the moves and they're rocking it out and then you have other people in the room looking at them,
Yeah.
you going to stand there like this?
No. No.
I'm the instructor.
Yeah. Why are you doing that move?
No,
Look at me.
don't be that person, girls.
No, don't be a
And
knucklehead.
set boundaries. Don't be a knucklehead. And set boundaries around those people. Just smile. Maybe you need to pray for them. Maybe they're
Well,
going through something that they are not sharing.
absolutely.
Oh
I'm
my God.
I'm a firm
I can
believer.
so picture you getting pissed. I'm the instructor. That
Could
would
you
never
imagine?
happen. You
Oh
would
my
never
gosh,
do
could you
that.
imagine?
But if you are that person who gets like, who feels like if somebody else is doing a great job and you feel like your light is getting dimmed because somebody's focusing over on somebody else's light moment and it irritates you, you are that person who forgot the damn routine and everyone's looking at the person that remembered it and you're standing in the corner like this. I'm the instructor. Like,
Hmm.
oh, like
There's so many angles.
you don't
There-
want to be that
you
person.
don't want to be that person,
Oh
but there's so
no.
many angles
And you
with
would
that.
never do that. You would never ever do that because you would look ridiculous.
You look so dumb, but
You look like a
also,
knucklehead.
yes, but also you're making me think about, imagine if there's so many angles to this. If I was a like, it's all about me, prideful, like leader who was like perfectionist and all these things, right? I'm picturing now that same scenario. If I'm this leader and maybe I'm like the only class, so I do have some students, but I'm not really like friendly, I'm not nice, I don't boost anybody else up, I'm not like any of that. I'm just like, I'm here, it's my show, blah, blah, blah. I don't think the response would be like, could you imagine if that person that remembered was like, what an idiot she is. She forgot. I remembered, like, move over, sister, and
Oh
let
yeah,
me
there's another
teach.
side of that.
There's a whole nother side because that's
Yeah.
twofold. Like, to be also the person that's like, move over, sister, let me do it better. Okay, well, also check yourself. Can you teach the whole class? Like,
Right.
there's that side, but then there's also the side of me that goes, okay, but check yourself. Why is she even feeling that way? Like,
Right.
because,
Oh man, we unpacked a lot. We need to pause and do a part 2.
right?
Dang. Yeah. You know what? Talking through things and getting visuals is like, man, it brings perspective to life. Oh my gosh. Yep.
Yeah,
That's so good. But
that
yeah,
was,
don't be a knucklehead.
don't be a knucklehead.
And you have absolute permission to lead your voice when you know what you are about to say is what is right. Not right as far as like I'm right, but like right as in um it's the path towards the greater good. Like it's removing yourself from the situation and looking at a situation for what it is and for what it isn't and what it can be. And you're voicing in the it can be because it's not about me, it's not about you, it's not about Susie frickin' Q. It's definitely not about Linda
Or Mr. Potato
because
Head.
she ain't listening. Listen, Linda. She ain't listening. And it definitely
Linda,
ain't about
Linda,
Mr. Potato
Linda,
Head.
Linda,
It is
Linda.
about we and what we are here to achieve together.
Mhm.
And it is our job as parents, it is our job as leaders, it is our job as women, it is our job in no matter what title you have behind your name, it is our job to always lead ourselves well.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
that is always going to be a reflection of you. And what you do is going to be a reflection of how your kids perceive things and how they turn out. What you do is going to be a reflection of how your team sees things and how they turn out. Like everything that we do is such a butterfly effect, and it can be in one way and it can be in the wrong way. But until you own it, you're going to be flying in one way or the other. Hopefully, it's a good way. But you got to grow. I don't know. This was a very interesting topic. We need to get ourselves out the loop. Every pattern in your life repeats until you learn the lesson. The moment you choose differently, the loop ends and growth begins. You got to grow through life, ladies. Don't go through it. Don't have a sob story. Don't have a pity party. We talked last time about girling up. So I don't know. That's where I'm at with it. I can't hear you at all. Hold on. She got all fancy on this episode, and that wasn't jewelry she was wearing. That was a fancy mic with a little dust bunny thing on it.
And it charged forever and it's dead.
Yeah. See?
So that means we talked a lot.
Yeah. That means the mic drop.
Yeah.
The mic dropped on us.
That was God being like, okay, ladies, you're done.
Okay, ladies, reel it in. Reel it in. All right, you close this out, girl, and I'm just going to let you mic drop it here because your mic actually dropped. But I appreciate this conversation. I hope that there was some really great lights that came out of it for women that are struggling on one side or the other.
Yeah.
But that's life.
I'm not going to say much because I know I'm echoey at this point, but I am grateful for you. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for all of our listeners, and I hope people chime in the comments and chat with us about this because I think it's an extremely important topic, especially just in this day and age. I just think it's extremely important that we take leadership serious, and that starts with us taking ourselves, serious to a degree, right? Like in the things that matter.
Absolutely.
So thank you for having this conversation with me.
Yeah.
Thank you to our listeners for listening in, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts around this because your thoughts matter too, and we all help each other collectively here. So
100%.
Yeah.
With that, I love you.
Love you too.
And until next time, ladies, what do we always say? Stay rooted.
Stay rooted.
The most important thing we can ever do. It matters the most. So we'll see you next time. Bye, girl.
Bye.
We hope that landed. If it did, drop a comment, share it up, and you know what? We'll see you next week. Until then, stay rooted, sister.